I first filmed Wesley back in 2007, I believe it was January. And we'd lost the original footage some time ago, and Wes was able to come back up with it, so I reproduced this video to show it again, originally airing on Google Video, and now on YouTube. What we've learned in 5 years is a lot of different things to do with upright Wolfen type entities. We've got our Skinwalker entity, we've got our Weir as in werewolf entity, and potential dogman. We've got potential situations where we might have a partially upright walking human dog man type something in a natural setting. We've learned a lot, and we're still learning as we move along.
So, Wes, when do you think you had your first dogman experience in this area?
Probably about a year and a half ago.
And where did you see this creature?
In Farmington.
In Farmington.
It's 26th Street. It's off of 27th, which is in between 30th and 20th. And it's probably about middle class housing, I would say.
And you drove me by the house earlier. It was by a gate?
Mm-hmm, a white gate.
A white gate. And what color was this creature?
It was black, like blacker than this.
Blacker than
blacker
that?
than the shadows around. It stood out. It had ears, and they were kind of laid back a little bit, kind of like when the dog's kind of running.
Okay. Was this creature moving or standing still?
It was standing still, just watching me. The moon was out. I think it was half moon. A little bit of cloud cover, not much. Just.
So it was dark then.
It was probably about 10, 11 o'clock.
10, 11 o'clock. What time of year was this?
Spring.
So yeah, that's definitely dark. 10 o'clock, spring. And did the ears stand up at all at any time, or did they just kind of lay back?
The girl I was dating at the time, I saw it. I was talking to her in the car, leaning over talking, and then I looked up and I see it. Like, I thought it was my neighbor at first, and I kind of just watched, and I felt like frozen. Like I stared directly into its eyes.
What color were the eyes?
Kind of like with the moon glare, it was kind of like a silverish blue color.
So did you have any reflection on the eyes from the moon or outside light sources?
Just street light.
Were the eyes glowing?
They kind of flickered.
Really?
The silverish blue color.
Huh. Interesting. Usually I get yellow eyes, red eyes, or even black eyes that reflect or refract light. Interesting. And black fur. What would the height of this creature be?
Probably, about 5'11", I think. It's probably about right here.
And its posture, it was standing on hind legs. Did you happen to notice what the legs looked like? The feet?
The gate was covering it. It kind of like, the gate's probably about right here. And I thought it might have been neighbor, might have a dog or something like that. That's what my first thought was, or my neighbor. And it was like this, so you kind of just see it looked like a big dog. And then I was just kind of staring at it, and then I got like a real eerie feeling. I told my girlfriend, I was like, I'm just gonna go inside, just go ahead, go home. Try to wrap up the goodbye, kiss and get going. She left, and it stood up like this, and it had a hold of the fence, and it just kind of bowed up, and then I saw like a chest line, like it looked ripped, like
big muscles. What the arms look like?
Looked hairy, but not hairy.
As far as muscular, were the arms muscular?
It looked kind of defined.
Really? So you could like see biceps, triceps, that nature?
Not over muscular, because it looked like it still had somewhat like, look at it, well fed.
So it wasn't a dog leaning on a fence. You saw human-like arms on this thing?
I saw hands.
You saw hands? What did the hands look like?
They're probably, let's see, probably extended like a little bit more than my hands.
Fingernails or claws?
Hard to tell. It was pretty dark.
Pretty dark.
I'd say probably like claws, kind of.
Like claws?
Not like a dog how they're arched, but I guess kind of like nails. More like nail claws.
So other than
Straight.
the really bad feeling you got, did you feel really threatened other than the bad feeling? I mean, was there a fear factor that this thing's going to cross over and kick my butt? Or, you know, did you have that feeling? Or was it just... Describe how you felt.
Like I was going to get eaten.
Really? So you did feel threatened in that capacity?
I was probably kind of in the middle of the road. Still after she left, because I just, you know, I'm seeing something that's not supposed to be there, and it's in town.
Yeah, in town.
Not out in the hills, nothing like that. It's in town. Like there's, you know, it's middle class neighborhood. There's not.
Let me ask you this. At the time, was there any vehicles passing by? Was there any activity in the neighborhood? People out in their yards, perhaps? Anything like that? Or was it just super quiet?
It was a Wednesday night.
Just super quiet?
Yeah, it was real quiet. I mean, you could hear the cars off of 20th, people racing and stuff like that.
What did you end up doing? You were near your vehicle, right?
I was near my girlfriend's vehicle.
Okay. Did you get in the vehicle and leave, or how did you?
I told her to go, and kind of a little bit of an argument. I finally just got her to leave. Because I didn't think she would believe me, you know.
Did she see the creature also?
No.
Okay.
She was too busy yelling at me.
Okay. And so she leaves, and you're still there. What do you do next?
Kind of freeze, kind of like look. And I look around over here, and then its ears prick up.
Okay.
And then start to move. And I just kind of walk back. Like this. And I turn around and bolt.
Was it moving toward you? Or its ears just popped up?
Its ears popped up, and it started to lift itself up.
Off the fence?
Off the fence.
Okay. So he was obviously going to get over that fence then. And you took flight on foot?
I hit the gate. The gate's one of those that you just pull the lever. It's not one of those that latch you have to lift up. It's just one of those kind of like a spring deal. I just hit that and bolted for I have a shotgun inside.
Okay.
And as I was doing that, another dog, like an actual dog, came running up behind me and growling and barking. I slammed that shut, ran inside, and that dog, the little dog, stayed next to its puddle. Like that.
Had you seen this dog in the neighborhood before?
No.
Okay, that's interesting.
It was real shaggy, and it looked like he's been like out and about, not like well taken care of, not like someone's pet.
Do you think this dog was accompanying this dog man you saw?
It felt like it.
Interesting.
It really did.
Interesting. Did you see the dog man further after that?
I went into my room, pulled back the curtain, had my shotgun right here. It's loaded all the time. I have 8 shells ready to go. Peeking, I didn't see it anywhere. And then I heard bang on the roof of my room.
Was something actually up on the roof? Really? How terrifying.
The dog stood right there, just looking up at me. Wasn't growling, making any emotional anger or anything, just watching, observing. I said, screw it, I'm just going to pass out. If something happens, I have my knife right here, I have a shotgun, I have a box of shells, I'm okay. And if all else fails, my grandmother has a .38 special. So, I just went to bed. While I was trying to sleep, I started scratching along the brick, on my window, tapping, and I finally just passed out. I turned up my TV so I couldn't hear it.
Did you think of calling anybody? Did you have an adult, somebody you could call, or?
If it was my grandmother or my grandfather, they'd probably just brush it off and just tell me, just go to bed.
It's your imagination.
Yeah.
Your imagination put something up on the roof walking around. This happens a lot. Why there's a fascination, even with Sasquatch, getting up on the roof. It's another story, but we had an incident like that in Fruitland. It climbed up on the roof and started yelling down the chimney.
I think it knows where you're at in the house, but it doesn't know how to get in.
Interesting. So you were talking earlier about the urban sprawl out here. We're out by Farmington Lake. Those houses behind you, when did those show up?
They were kind of sparse when I was younger, probably about 14, 15. About 17 to 18, it really got real thick. Especially out by the quarter mile, there's a county road just on the other side, which they call Wild Horse Valley, or not Wild Horse Valley, Round Valley.
Okay, I'm familiar with that.
My buddy lives out there. So one night we were out there, just dinking around out in the hills. You can see like the coyotes coming in, all sorts of animals in nature, the local animals and stuff like that, and they just kind of intermix and try to cohabitate with the growing of the population here in Florida Vista.
So, in regards to a flesh and blood creature that might well be cryptid, do you think this urban sprawl has a lot to do with they're being pushed out and they're not really giving up these areas? They're still inhabiting these areas. They're still going in, trying to forage for food near these homes and these houses.
Like a bear.
Just like a bear.
They gotta know they have to figure out how to survive. If you take away a food source, you have to find out where to get another food.
Dumpsters,
trash cans. We've had to pick up trash from around his house and stuff like that. His dogs know better to knock things over. They have ducks, they have chickens. Sometimes the ducks and the chickens will disappear. Sometimes the whole trash cans, about like that big.
When the ducks and the chickens disappeared, was there any sign that they had been killed on your property, that property there, were there chicken feathers, blood, or they just disappeared?
Feathers, no blood, but whenever I spent the night there, and it happened one night, we heard squawking of a duck, and then the rest of the ducks, there's probably about 15 of them, and you hear kind of like a, I don't know how to explain it, it's just kind of like a dying sound.
Okay, like an animal getting the life choked out of it.
The dogs in the house woke up. There's probably about 5 of them, and they're all bolting from the door. They're trying to get out, trying to get out, trying to get out. So my buddy Chris, he's about 6'5", probably like 285 pounds. He's a big boy. He's worked on the rigs just about his whole life, been around it. So we go outside. He takes his dad's 12 gauge, and we go walking around out there, and the dogs just bolt towards the fence. And then you hear the fence rattling like something's climbing over it, and kind of like boom, boom, boom on the pavement.
Heavy footfalls.
And then brush, and then more brush. And we said, you know, it's not in our yard no more. We don't want to mess with it. It's 12 o'clock at night. So we just decided just to leave it at that.
So, a brief synopsis. Do you think that this dog man is an inhabitant of this area?
Yes.
And it hunts just like a dog would. It probably has a den of sorts. I mean, that would be your feeling on this creature.
Or yeah, like a pack, kind of like a wolf.
So you don't think that this is an interdimensional being, so to speak, as a lot of people do, and I'm divided on that myself. You think this is just an actual animal, yet undiscovered?
Yes.
Alrighty. So you were next to the Animas River, what, probably 10 miles north of here?
Yeah.
And you were age 11?
11, 12, somewhere around there.
11, 12. And you were playing in a field or near a field?
I was playing in the field on my grandfather's property on my mom's side. He has a right up to the river and across. It's all of his land. I used to play in like tunnels, built tunnels, all sorts of stuff throughout the brush and stuff like that. It's probably, I'd say June. There was light breeze. There was a brush, probably about yay high.
Kind of like brush you'd find along the river. Thistles and
the purple colored flowery ones. And tall grass.
And basically a large four-legged creature, or was on all fours, is what you noticed. Now, when you first saw it, did you see it through the thistles?
Yeah.
And what did you think it was?
A dog.
A dog. And what changed your mind about it being a dog?
It started like kind of sneaking through the brush, moving along with its snout, just coming in.
And you were watching it the whole time? Was it looking at you? So you were aware that you were being stalked, or it was coming up on you?
Yes.
And so it's moving out of the bushes. Did it come outside of the bushes?
It stayed within the thistles. My grandfather was hollering for me to come down and eat lunch. And I was just driving up, and it was trooper.
Okay.
He was hollering at me. I was kind of frozen, staring. It's a big dog. Kind of silver and gray and brown and black mixed in. Probably about yay high. I go through, running along the tree line to where his car was parked. He's telling me to get in the car. There's a wolf. So just get in the car. It's so small, and I've always been a kind of small kid when I was younger. And he was worried about my safety. So we hop in, and it books it over across to where this apple orchard is, where this guy normally feeds deer. And that's the last time we've seen it for as long as I've been out there. This is the only time.
You know, as I said earlier, there have been a wolf up here since probably the turn of the century. So, I mean, a wolf anywhere in this area would be very, very unusual. That would be quite a find to find pretty much something that's been extinct out of this area for nearly 100 years. So, very interesting. Wesley, it's been 4 years since we did that video when you talk about the dog man, your experience, your sighting. And then we've gone into other different realms. We've explored situations where we've got what we call the weir, as in werewolf, situations where we're talking about a dog-like, human-like situation, as in the dog man, werewolf. We've explored the skinwalker genre. We've got a documentary out on the skinwalker genre. We've come a long way with this in the last few years. As far as what we talked about in the first video, have you changed your position at all about what you saw?
From what I saw, from the information that I know now, yes. There's many things that we don't comprehend or understand just in the moment of things, and due to our own conditioning of living life and trying to have the ability to comprehend such things. I would say that now I have more of an understanding of what they are, and further hope to see more in a less
Less frightening situation?
Yeah, I would say that.
More of a controlled situation?
More of a controlled situation than having to deal with trying to get a female to go away because I'm seeing something that I shouldn't normally see in a normal urban setting that you would only see in either Hollywood or from folktales.
Yeah. Well, we still hold out that there's some type of cryptid out there that's not necessarily attached to something evil or witchcraft. We'll keep looking.
I agree with that.